What is going on, my fellow zombie slayers? It is Nelly B here, and welcome back to another Cold War Zombies video. In today's video, we'll be going over an ultimate comprehensive guide to Firebase Z. This is not an Easter egg guide. If you're looking for one of those, I uploaded that the other day, and you can teleport to that video by clicking on the card up above. No. In today's video, we'll be going over the best strategies for an early setup and high rounds. I should mention that you will need the K84 Wonder Weapon for the fastest high round. If you don't know how to get that yet, I also made a video for that. Links above and below in the description. Before we get into this, I can't help but notice that the chances you're watching this and not subscribed is just insane to me. So if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, maybe leaving a like if you enjoyed, that'd be greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let's get into it. Before we even jump into the map, we'll start in the menu. For your starting loadout, you'll want one of these two weapons, the knife or any variation of it, or the stoner. You can also use the M16 or SA-12, but with my suggestion of the stoner, I'm thinking long game here. How can we move through every round from early to late game the fastest? And the stoner is key for late game, and as for early game, the loadout knife works perfectly fine up until round 10. For attachments, the only things that matter are muzzles, barrels, bodies, and magazines. For the muzzles, barrels, and bodies, you want to prioritize damage, penetration, and drop rate. Oftentimes these conflict with one another, but depending on whether or not you want to kill zombies faster or earn more salvage, the choice is yours. And obviously the largest and fastest reloading magazines are your only option. Sure, they'll slow the gun down overall, but more ammo and faster reload is a no-brainer in zombies. Moving away from the weapons, we have field upgrades. We'll be camping, so Ring of Fire is obvious. However, if you're doing the Easter egg, especially solo, you might benefit from Aether Shroud. This is the part where I mentioned that you can change field upgrades mid-game. That's right. Just pause, choose your class, pick any class that has the field upgrade you're looking for, and bam. Just charge it up and it's ready. You can do this multiple times in a game, so don't worry if you pick the wrong one. Finally, getting into the map itself. When you spawn in, you'll be placed in the village part of the map, more specifically, the courtyard. To your right, you have a door that costs 1250 points in the quick revive perk machine. To your left, you'll have a crafting table in the atrium. In the atrium, you can find a power down pack punch machine and an injured Ravenov. If you don't know, he's pretty crucial to the Easter egg. He doesn't do much on account of the whole sling thing he's got going on, but if you watch my Easter egg video, you'll understand what I mean. Anyways, in the atrium, you'll notice there are certain doors with red lights above them. If you walk up to them, they'll tell you the power needs to be turned on. In order to do that, you need to make your way out of spawn from the door I mentioned as soon as you spawn in. If you prone in front of quick revive and rebuild a barrier or two, you should be able to buy the store by the end of round 1. But staying here up until round 3 or 4 isn't a bad idea, but I do suggest if you want to move as quickly as possible, leave as soon as round 1 ends. If you make your way up the stairs, around the corner, and teleport through the portal, you'll now be transported to the main map area, more specifically the helipad. We're going to be staying here up until we saved up enough to buy 2 doors, which in total will cost 2,250 points if you're playing solo. If you're in a party with 1 or more people, just know both doors will cost 250 more points, totaling 2,750 points. But remember, you also need to be able to turn on the generator, which is another 500 points, with a total of 2,750 points in solo, or 3,250 when playing with others. Once you or your team have gathered enough points, you're going to want to go through the door in the middle that leads to the data center, the one right next to Tombstone. Once you're in the data center, you're obviously going to want to start turning on power by interacting with the generator in the middle of the lower level. Once you interact with the generator, you'll be tasked with protecting 2 to 3 smaller generators from zombies in the same area. The amount of smaller generators you need to protect depends on how many people are in your party. It's only 2 if you're solo, and all 3 for any parties 2 or larger. Remember, as long as the zombies are in the area, for this example, we'll use data center. As long as they're in the building or breaking into windows in this building, you can kill them and they will count towards this generator. This shouldn't take too long, honestly, and when you're done, you get an extra 1k points for your troubles. You should be out of here at the end of round 4 or the beginning of round 5. Oh, and if you're looking for intel, there are 2 radios located in this area, which I will be showing on screen now. Both of the radios spawn every game and can only be interacted with once per game. So pick those up every time you come through and you'll have their intel done in no time. Also, you can find speed cola on the top level towards the back. I know this may seem like an over optimization, but make sure you're proning in front of all of the perks you come across. You'll be surprised just how often you'll need only 100 points more to open a door. For the next generator, you're going to want to make your way over to military command. Your first instinct would be to leave out of the doors that open when you turned on power in the data center. However, for high round sake, we just can't do this specifically because of this door here, but we'll touch on that later. In order to get to military command from this position, you'll need to leave the way you came in, going back to the helipad area, the same area with the teleporter. When you're entering this area from the barracks, the door you'll need to open next will be on your left. After this, the next door will be on your right into this building here. However, before that, we're going to run into this room right here called Weapons Lab. In the back of Weapons Lab, on the right side, you'll see a blueprint for the K-84 on the wall. You're going to interact with that, picking it up, and now you'll continue to military command. A mimic may spawn during this time, but if you've got any of the weapons that I've suggested earlier, you should be perfectly fine. Once you've reached the military command power station, it's the same thing as last time. Kill a few zombies and protect the generators. Once you turn power on in this area, you will now have access to the Juggernaut perk machine, and you may even be tempted to buy it right now, but trust me, you can get Jug for free just as easy. Moving on, our final power station is located in Mission Control. There are two ways to get to it from military command. However, I think we'll take the longer, less expensive way. In order to do this, you're going to want to make your way back to the helipad. The military command is located through the only door we haven't opened yet. After you open it, make your way through the open lot, up these stairs and to the right of the OPC, or the big dome looking thing. In this area, again, same thing, activate the main generator and protect the 3 around it. If you're planning on doing the Easter egg, you can make your way out of mission control and pick up the shovel. And if you want to build the K, you can grab the eye from the zombie in this area as well. Also, make sure that in between each generator, you're not killing zombies for anything more but points towards the doors. Power can be turned on very quickly on this map, and unlike turning on power on Die Machine, you don't start to get any more special zombies than you would if power was off. Also, if you make your way back to spawn through the portal, you now have access to the entire atrium and the pack punch will be activated. If you'll notice, the room next to pack punch that was previously closed is now open and contains the Wonderfish machine. That's right, all your perks in one location. And if you're wondering, yes, you can get all 7 perks. I've done the math, and to buy all 7 perks in one game, you'll need about 28,000 points. But for right now, we're going to be saving up for, at the very least, 2. The 2 I would recommend would be Quick Revive and either Stamina Up or Tombstone. If you don't mind waiting a bit longer, buy all 3 before you continue. During this time, if you do not have armor, I recommend buying some from this armor station right here. This area also has another respawning intel. It's located up the stairs on the right of Ravenov through Peck's quarters in the room on the right on this table. Just come back here once a game and collect your intel. Your next step in your ultimate setup should definitely include the coffin Easter egg on this map. If you don't know, above Ravenov and the Pack-a-Punch machine, there's a path blocked off by a railing. At the end of this path, there is a stuffed rabbit like the one we see from the box in this game. All you have to do is stare at it for a total of 20 seconds. In the first 10 seconds, a sound cue will be activated and the bunny will look directly at you. After the next 10 seconds, you will be frozen in place and teleported to the main area of the Easter egg. Be careful though, while being teleported, zombies will still hit you if they're close enough. I've not gone down from this yet, but I assume with enough zombies surrounding you, this is very likely. Once you're in the area, shoot all 3 glowing teddy bears and you'll be rewarded with the same box you are in Die Machine. There's also a chance you can get the K from this box, so again, I say well worth it. If you do not get the K from this Easter egg though, don't worry. There are plenty of other ways. Speaking of, when you return, I suggest buckling down on challenges. Not only can challenges give you perks, max ammos, and intel, but they're also very likely to give you the K with the obvious stipulation that you need to have earned the legendary trial. Once you begin to get this or your own strategy down, I would suggest starting trials much earlier. In my opinion, they're much easier and much more tolerable than they were on Die Machine. Again, they're easy, they give good rewards, and in the grand scheme of things, they don't take much time. And once you have the K, you can either continue the Easter egg or go for high rounds. For those looking only to do the Easter egg, unfortunately, this is where we part. Hello, high rounders. So I just have to say, I have not made it to round 100 yet. I think my highest round on this map is 56, which is still pretty good considering the strategy. If you haven't seen it already, it's basically just sitting in Weapons Lab, back facing the door to Data Center, which we purposely left closed before, and using your Ring of Fire as often as possible. With my strategy, depending on when you get the Raikei, you can start this as early as round 10. Before I get into the strategy, you should already have the Raikei, Juggernog, Quick Revive, and Tombstone. You should also bring in with you a Chopper Gunner or Hellstorm Missile, Deadshot Daiquiri, Speed Cola, and I know this seems obvious, but it's self-revive. The way the strategy works is you start out by using your alternate ability on your Raikei just above the stairs in front of the computer, constantly moving back and forth from one side of the room to the other. While you're doing this, you need to make sure you're shooting your alternate shot of your Raikei, killing all zombies and seriously injuring any special zombies in that area. Starting around round 30, 32, this will become more consistent. You'll start to notice that you only need to do this about 3 to 4 times before you can activate Ring of Fire. While the Ring of Fire is activated, you're going to want to stand right next to the computer and shoot your Raikei in automatic mode, prioritizing any manglers or mimics that are on your screen. As soon as Ring of Fire stops, you go back to the alternate ammo and continue the cycle. I've tried this about 4 times, each time getting closer and closer to the highest round I have right now, which is 56. I think. It gets easier and easier every time, and the more often you play, the more nuances you'll be able to pick out. Like perfectly shooting a charge shot while Ring of Fire is still activated, but exploding that shot when Ring of Fire is gone, making Ring of Fire charge up even faster and keeping you from having to reload for longer, which really counts in the higher rounds. Also, one very important thing I should mention, insta-kills don't charge your Ring of Fire, so that's kind of a bummer. They can be great for the end of the round, but honestly not worth dying to get. Also, if you're skilled enough, the Chopper Gunner or Hellstorm Missile can be activated before you go down, allowing you to buy some time when you get back on the ground. But if you've gone past round 30 on this map, you already know there's another component to high rounds than just camping. That's right. Loadout. Loadout is the boss during assault rounds, first showing up on round 30 and reappearing every 10 rounds. During this sort of mini boss battle, zombies can spawn and attack the generator, but as long as you kill Loadout, the round will end killing all of the zombies. The best and fastest way to do this is with the stoner. See, I told you we'd come back to it. Hopefully during your rampage getting to this point, you thought to upgrade this thing to at least purple and pack punch a few times. With this thing and Ring of Fire, Orda can be killed in literal seconds. When rounds go from anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes, a quick 30-second round is a nice pace changer. All in all, the strategy for me at least strikes perfectly between balanced and difficult. This strategy isn't just sitting on a tank spamming your ult ability. It takes some time and a little bit of skill to achieve. I've yet to achieve it myself, but we'll save that for another day, maybe even a stream. Speaking of, if you haven't already, go check me out on Twitch. I plan on going for all sorts of high rounds, not only on this map, but older maps as well. If you're not into live streams, then subscribe here on YouTube. Hopefully with a streamlined schedule, I can upload those VODs into shorter videos up here onto YouTube, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you stay safe, wear a mask, and peace.